Mark Wilson sat and reflected on the last 12 hours. His wedding day was supposed to be one of the highlights of his life. It had been, but the last few hours had been a rush of ups and downs. After he said "I do" to the love of his life, Jen Silers Wilson, they partied with family and friends at the reception. Mark drank a little too much champagne but didn't get too intoxicated. Jen drank too, but it didn't seem to affect their relationship. They planned to leave the reception before the rest of the family and head to the bridal suite for the night to celebrate their marriage. Since they met 8 months ago, they had agreed not to have premarital sex to cement their commitment to each other. Jen and Mark admitted they've had lovers before, but their relationship would be better if they saved themselves for their wedding night. It wasn't easy. The abundant caresses couldn't take away their desire, but both admitted that their ability to hold back made their relationship even stronger and themselves more mature. It started when Mark danced with Jen, still in her wedding dress, and she whispered that there had been a change of plan. She slipped a folded note into Mark's hand and asked him to wait 20 minutes to read it. The note explained her desire to have an unconventional wedding night. She also promised that he would be satisfied when he fully understood what she wanted for both of them. Of course, Mark agreed to wait. He was so much in love with Jen and trusted her unconditionally. At the end of the dance, Jen left Mark and whisked off with her best man, Tom Daly, Mark's best and closest friend. Mark made another round of distant family and friends, waiting all of 20 minutes before he got ready to read the note. By the time he was left alone to look at it, at least 30 minutes had passed. His world crumbled as he realized his beloved wife's intentions. "Mark, my beloved husband, I think we should start a new wedding tradition. Since we will spend the next 2 weeks on a secluded beach and then the rest of our lives together, I think the wedding night is best spent with the bride making love to the best man, showing him why he was chosen to be the best man. The groom should also spend the first night with the maid of honor for the same reason. Allowing these two close friends to be a part of the post-wedding party will also bring them closer together in a lasting relationship. By the time you read this, Tom will already be in the same bed with me, so we won't be able to cancel what I have planned. By the way, I assume Tom will want to continue his close relationship with me after our honeymoon, since he took an option on the apartment next door to yours, and I assume now mine. Thus, your best friend will also become my best lover after my husband, of course. We are in another room, not the honeymoon suite. Please don't try to interrupt us. I won't interrupt you and Anne. Please call her, she's waiting for you. Please take her to the bridal room and make love to her so that she will be a true close friend for life. See you in the morning before you go to the airport. I love you, Jen." Mark sank into his chair and tried to comprehend the whole situation. How could his new wife have done something so unthinkable? Why was she sure he would agree to it? Suddenly, a light went on in his brain. She didn't think he would agree to it. That was why she had played on his trust not to look at the note for at least 20 minutes. They had to leave the dance floor immediately and head for the private room. Like she said, by the time he read the note, considered the outcome, and figured out what room they were in, it would be too late to interfere. He didn't think Tom planned to stay at the hotel. Mark decided to make the best of a bad deal and called Anne's cell phone. After a few rings, a sleepy voice picked up. "Hello. Who is this?" "Anne, it's Mark. I'm sorry to wake you up. Can you talk?" He imagined her rubbing her eyes, trying to fully wake up. He also heard a woman's voice in the background. "Of course, Mark. What happened? Where's Jen?" "Apparently Jen decided to sleep with Tom, and I should have sex with you as some sort of kinky addition to the wedding ceremony. Did she discuss this with you?" "Oh God, she did. I begged her not to do it. What a way to ruin a relationship." "I'm sorry, Mark, but she obviously led you around by the nose throughout your relationship. I never agreed to anything like that because I'm a lesbian. My current girlfriend, June, is with me now, and we've been blissfully asleep." "Wait a minute, June and you?" Why would Jen make her maid of honor and maid of honor stand up with her and try to catch the bouquet if you're both lesbians? I hate to say this, but I don't get it. Anne wasn't upset about his blatant lesbianism problem. She knew him well since she was Jen's roommate and had spent a lot of time with them. He was just upset. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Mark, but until Jen started dating you, and frankly, for a long time after that, she and I were more than just roommates. As a matter of fact, her bachelorette party was a lesbian orgy. She's also been sleeping with Tom since you introduced them. Apparently, the only one who didn't get any candy from her was you. She convinced you that your relationship would be stronger if you were celibate. Sometimes I think she thought you'd get some kinky stuff on the side while you were trying to maintain your chastity with her. Mark shook his head. This night was getting worse and worse. The only one who wasn't getting any sex was him. What a fool. Is June going to move in with you when Jen moves into my apartment? He could almost hear her nod over the phone. Yes, she will move in. We're planning it all during your honeymoon. Does anything change because of what she's doing? Mark answered slowly. I don't. It's all too new and too fresh. I have to sit and think about what I'm going to do. One thing needs to be made clear. I will not share her with you or anyone else if we stay together. Anne quickly agreed with him. I completely understand your position and your attitude about this. I've tried to make it clear to her that you're not some troublemaker who allows this kind of behavior, but she's got it in her head that she can have you home and different men anytime she wants. Good luck with your plans. Let us know if we can help. I can't speak for June, but I'm not going to stay friends with that lecherous woman. She cheated on you. She'll cheat on anyone. Mark wished her good night and hung up. He needed to try and make some plans. Chapter 2. It was already 10 o'clock in the morning. Mark was very tired. The only thing that kept him awake was the thought that his fiancée was going to show up, and at noon they would be able to go on their honeymoon. He spent the whole night making plans and getting to work on them. The wait was not long. Suddenly, Jen appeared in the breakfast room, even though breakfast was over. She was still wearing her wedding dress, or she had put it back on after her night with Tom. Tom was beside her as she floated into the room. Jen looked upset and didn't even look at anyone in the room. She was focused on her new husband. Mark, why can't I go to my room to change so we can go? No. Hello, darling. No other greetings. Just upset that she'd have to wear a dress for a second day. It wasn't part of the tradition. It was only supposed to be worn once. Have a seat, why don't you? He pointed to the chair across from him. Jen sighed slightly, but then sat down. Tom took the seat next to her. Mark noted that he immediately took her hand. The reason you can't get into the room is because I checked out of the hotel at 3 in the morning. I made sure all the luggage was taken to the airport and checked in. It took a lot of work, but the luggage has been checked in and is waiting to board the plane. It will be at our honeymoon destination. He paused to give her a chance to think it over. She muttered, How nice of you, darling. But you forgot that I had to change my clothes this morning before we met the family. I don't think this dress is appropriate for a multi-hour flight. Well, maybe I was a little hasty, but you see, I didn't have anyone with me to distract me from my loneliness on my wedding night. I decided to start our married life with a clean slate. Jen was a little surprised at his mention of loneliness. Didn't you call Anne? She was supposed to come with you to our room. Yes, I did. I don't think Anne, being a confirmed lesbian, was looking forward to a night with me, a hairy man. Her girlfriend, June, didn't seem to want to be with me either. Jen pondered this for a while. Well, I'll have to talk to her. She promised to do the right thing. Mark laughed. Somehow it didn't sound like a hearty laugh. She did do the right thing. She told me about your relationship with her and that you've been sleeping with my best friend Tom all this time, begging me for chastity. She doesn't agree with you at all. She didn't say anything before I called her because she was under the impression that you were joking with her about this whole plan to make me a cuckold on our wedding day. Jen shook her head. No, that's not right. She agreed to it. She likes a man sometimes, and she was willing to do it for me. I'll have to talk to her. Anne got up from the other table. Bullshit, you lying bitch. You were determined to get everything, so you brought in a good man and ruined him and his friendship with Tom at the same time. I never agreed to do anything with Mark. She let the comment soak in a bit. By the way, while you're away on your honeymoon, June is moving in with me. I don't know what Mark is going to do with your lecherous ass, but you won't be living with me. Anne and June left the room. They knew the rest of the plan, and they didn't need to stay to see the outcome. Jen was a little shaken. She had to think fast to resolve the situation in her favor. Mark, I didn't want you to be without me. I just wanted to start a new and exciting tradition. Our old friendships should become close and new so we can keep them forever. She started looking around and realized that everyone in the room was familiar to her. But, and that's a big but, even her close family members didn't seem to be on her side. Everyone had a stern look on their faces. Tom had already noticed who was in the room. He didn't know Jen's family very well, having met most of them at the rehearsal dinner, but he was well acquainted with Mark's family. From the looks on his face, he was ready to run out of the room in fear for his manhood. Mark noticed how his former friend was beginning to realize that he was about to lose his manhood. Tom was relieved, but only briefly. Mark continued. Old friend, we've known each other since elementary school. We fought bullies together, played sports together, dated, and even worked together. Today, all of that came to an end. I called Mr. Jameson at home and let him know what was going on this weekend. It seems he is much more conservative than we thought. He's going to publicly fire you Monday morning. I hope you haven't invested too much money in your new apartment, as you'll probably lose that too. Mark paused to let Tom comprehend this news. By the way, goodbye. I think my brothers and cousins would like to talk to you outside. Tom looked over and saw said brothers and cousins heading for the door. He decided to make a run for it. Maybe he made it in time, but on the other hand, maybe not. Mark didn't really care. Mark looked back at his fiancée. I hope he wasn't planning on joining us on our honeymoon, dear. I don't think he can afford it now. Jen turned even paler. Obviously, that was exactly what she had planned. Mark laughed his little laugh again. Jen trembled. She looked around, trying to find a single sympathetic face in the crowd, but she couldn't find one. She hesitated for a moment. I assume you want a divorce? Mark shook his head. Why would I want that? I don't think I want to share my assets with a cunt like you. We don't have a prenup. No. I woke your father up at 5 this morning, and he agreed to be my lawyer after I explained what you did. Monday morning, he will file the appropriate papers for an annulment. Since our marriage wasn't consummated, he thinks it's possible to undo what the pastor did by simply filing the papers. He let that soak in for a bit. By the way, I gave our honeymoon tickets to my parents. They graciously agreed, so they'll have a long-awaited vacation and a second honeymoon. I only wish we had gotten 4 tickets so your parents could join them. But I digress a bit. You will find that not only do you have no clothes to wear from here, but I have also packed your purse, cell phone, passport, and birth control pills in your luggage. You have nothing in your name at the moment. He stood up and stared her down. I also called your boss this morning and informed her that you can go to work on Monday. She also wants to discuss your future at her facility. It seems that social media posts about what you did have already reached some of her customers, and for some strange reason, some of them are very upset. Jen started to cry. She was shaking her head. This wasn't going the way she had planned. This couldn't be real, could it? Mark leaned over and lifted her chin. Last words, baby. I loved you. I loved you more than I can describe. I was fully prepared to have children with you and grow old with you. But you changed everything with your note. By the way, I took a picture of it and posted it on your Facebook page as your new profile picture. If anyone doubts what you did, it won't be for long." He paused again to let her comprehend the news. "I've also quit my job. I will not tolerate sympathy or pitying looks from my co-workers. I will put my apartment up for sale on Monday. It looks like I'll have a very busy day on Monday. Don't try to contact me. I'm done with your lying cheat. Any more, and I'll stop being responsible for my actions towards you. You better try to find a place to park your lying ass. I don't think even your relatives want you to stay home for a while. Do you understand me?" Jen couldn't stop crying, but nodded in understanding. Mark and his family got up and walked out. He noted that Tom must have escaped and there were no battered bodies on the way out of the hotel in their way. Jen heard some movement and hoped that her family would be there for her in her time of need. But someone stopped to spit in her face. She barely noticed it through her tears. Soon she was alone.